Hello, everyone. This is Rajat, your quant and LRDI mentor from Team PrepZone. Well, firstly, let me tell you what this video is going to be all about. Uh, this is, as it is mentioned here on the slideshow, it's all about CAT 2020 Slot 1 quant solutions, right? So what we'll try and cover is the exact 40-minute agenda as it was in CAT 2020. So how to go about solving those 26 questions within those 40 minutes ka time frame. And if time permits, we'll also discuss simultaneously multiple possible solutions for some of the questions, right? So before starting all that, I would like to first inform you that CAT 2021 is online now. The first batch is about to start in a couple of days' time, in a few days' time. That is mid-January. So by next week onwards, right? So please join the batch and please do attend the orientation session, the so-called demonstration session, right? So this is the details about the same. Please contact on this mentioned number if you want to join the first batch for 2021. All right, so these are some of our results, which you can also visit the Facebook page and also the website for the details about the same. And we're still gathering the CAT 2020 results. They're also being showcased on the Facebook page, so you can visit the Facebook page anytime for the information. Right. So this is the GDPI results, and the GDPI phase is ongoing, as you must be aware as of now. Okay, cool. So let's start with the actual agenda of the session, and let's start with question number 1. So the question says an alloy is prepared by mixing 3 metals A, B, and C in the proportion 1, 3, 4, 7. Weights of the same volume of metals A, B, and C are in the ratio 5 to 6. All right. In 130 kg of the alloy, in weight the kg of the metal C is. Cool. So this question says, gives me 2 ratios. One is the alloy mixture, that is by volume 3, 4, 7 is the 3 elements. Weights of these elements. So weighted ratio, weighted averages वाले concept में you must have studied these the meaning of the term weights, right? So for example, if the weights of the volume of the metals is 5 to 6, so if I take 1 liter of metal A, it has 3 as the weight, as the volume, right? So if I take 5, I'll get 15. Similarly, if I take 2 liters of metal B, I get 4 per liter. So how about 2 liters? I'll get 2 into 4, that is 8. So the entire final ratio in the final alloy would be 5 into 3, ratio 2 into 4, ratio 6 into 7. It has to be 15, ratio 8, ratio 42. So this is the final ratio in which those 130 kgs of the alloy are to be divided into metals A, B, and C respectively, right? So, and from now on, it's a very simple ratio question. 130 kg means 42 plus 8 plus 6, 15 means 65. So 65 is actually 130. So this is getting doubled. So everything will get doubled. So this will be 84, this will be 16, and this will be 30. So what is the answer to the question? Metal C ka pucha hua hai, so it's 84 kgs, and hence my answer is option 3. I hope it's understandable. It was a very simple question. I would categorize it in level 1. So this is what I usually do in my mock analysis. I allocate every question a category, a level 1. So this is a level 1 question, easily. Good. Moving on to question number 2. So a straight road connects points A and B. Car 1 travels from A to B. All right. So there is a straight road from points A to B. Car 1 travels from A to B. So this is 1 and this is 2 from B to A. Both leaving at the same time. Cool. So after meeting each other, they take 45 minutes and 20 minutes respectively to complete their journeys. Okay. So guys, if you have studied for CAT religiously, this is a very simple rule. A very simple rule, and the given situation exactly falls under that category of the rule. What does the rule say? It's such a condition is given in the question where the points, the end points are given to be fixed, and one is moving from A to B and the other is moving from B to A. Wherever they meet, I don't care where they meet, but wherever they meet, after the meeting, when they continue with their journeys to the opposite points, so 2 is moving here and 1 is moving here, right? So this time that 2 takes is 20 minutes to cover this remaining distance, and the time that 1 takes to cover the remaining distance is 45 minutes. So whenever such a situation is given to you, there's a very simple rule that governs such conditions, which is given by speed of car 1 upon speed of car 2. So the ratio of the speeds will be equal to the square root of the inverse ratio of times. So this will be equal to time taken by car 2 upon time taken by car 1, car square root, right? And this T2 and T1 represents 20 and 45 minutes respectively. So the times taken by the respective cars to cover the remaining journeys after the meeting point. So this is a very simple rule that we teach in time, speed and distance ka chapter. So hence the ratio will be given to as S1 by S2 will be equal to 20 upon 45 ka square root, which is equal to nothing but 2 upon 3, right? So speed 1 is given to you. Car 1 travels at a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. So speed 1, 2 wala part is actually 60. So 3 wala part will actually be 90. So hence my answer to question number 2 is option 4. Again, guys, if you have studied for CAT, this is a very simple first page rule. If you study with a chapter called time, speed and distance, right? So I again will put this question into category number 1, level 1. Moving on to question number 3. A solution of volume 40 liters has dye and water in the proportion 2:3. So this question seems to be of allegations and mixtures or ratio and proportion for that matter. So let's say 5 parts means 40. So in total, there'll be 16 liters of what? Dye. So this is dye, this is water, this is 16 and this is 24, right? Now some water is added to the solution. So there's some water added to the solution to change the proportion to 2:5. So now 2 parts is dye and 5 parts is water. So the dye doesn't change. The dye remains as 16 only because there's no addition of dye. So this 16 represents 2. So this is a proportion of 8, right? So what is this 24 will represent to? Just a second, guys. There's some disturbance. Yes. So as we clearly mentioned that this 2 parts is actually 16. So what do these 5 parts will represent now? So this 2 is 16 and 5 will obviously be 40. So this total has to be 40. So I added some water to 24 to make it 40. So that sum has to be 16, right? So the entire solution now becomes 40 was the original volume and 16 was added. So it becomes 56. So out of this 56, the distribution now becomes 40 and 16, the updated ratio. Now, if 1/4 of this solution is taken out, so if 1/4 is taken out, then 1/4 has to be taken out from both of them. So 4 has been taken out from 16 to leave 12, and 10 has been taken out from 40, that is 1/4, and to leave 30. Now the ratio becomes 12:30, or simply 4:10 or 2:5, right? Now, how many liters of dye must be added? Now I'm adding dye to the remaining solution to bring the proportion back to 2:3. There is something to be added here, but there is nothing to be added here this time. So initially I added water, but now I'm adding dye. So this 30 remains as 30. So the ratio wala part of this 30 is actually 3, right? So what will be this ratio wala part of 2? So if this 3 is 30, then 2 has to be 20. So to make this 12 as 20, I have to add 8. Hence the answer to the question number 3 is 8 liters of dye must be added to make the solution again back to 2:3, right? Cool. Moving on to question number 4 now. Second, guys. Yes, so this is question number 4. It says a person spent rupees 50,000 to purchase a desktop computer and a laptop computer. So the total cost was 50,000 for both of them. He sold the desktop at 20% profit and the laptop at 10% loss. If overall he made a 2% profit, then the purchase price in rupees of the desktop is. Guys, again, this is a very, very simple, the most basic of questions if you've studied the chapter called allegations and mixtures. So the method of allegation and mixture that we're going to use here is 20% profit. It's a very sub 10 second question, guys. 20% profit here, minus 10% profit or 10% loss here. Overall, a 2% profit here. So what do we do now? 20 minus 2 is 18. 2 minus 10 will be 12. So the ratio of the cost prices has to be 2:3. In this ratio was that 50,000 distributed. So the computer is parts 2 and the laptop computer is parts 3. So this is desktop computer, this is laptop computer. And whatever has been asked to us is the desktop. So the desktop has to be DC, that is 2 parts out of 5. That is clearly 20,000. That has to be the answer. Cool. All right, moving ahead to question number 5 now, guys. Yes, so question number 5 belongs to clearly the chapter called logarithms. If y is a negative number such that 2 to the power y square log 5 to the base 3 is equal to 5 to the power log 3 to the base 2. All right, okay. So the question clearly mentions, guys, that y has to be a negative number. And I'm seeing options here. So option 1 and 2, if you understand the basic properties of log, options 1 and 2 will not give you a negative number. So this will be what? Log 5 to the power minus 1 to the base 2. So this minus 1 comes ahead, right? So this itself becomes a negative quantity. Negative into a negative number has to be a positive number. And the same case goes with option 2 as well. So options 1 and 2 are eliminated. Clearly, it has to be something around option 3 or option 4. Cool. Moving ahead. So as we can see, we can take log on both the sides of the equation. And then we'll be left with y square log 5 to the base 3 log 2 is equal to log 3 to the base 2 log 5. Cool. So this is clearly y square log 5 upon log 3 using the identity of log, which says log a to the base b is nothing but log a upon log b. So this is into log 2 has to be equal to log 3 upon log 2 into log 5. So log 5 gets cancelled out. I'm left with y square on the LHS, and I'll take both of these log 2 and log 3 on the RHS to give me log 3 ka whole square upon log 2 ka whole square. So from this, I can clearly say that y is nothing but plus minus log 3 to the base 2, right? So as it is, y has to be a negative number, so it has to be minus of log 3 to the base 2. So this can't be plus, this has to be minus. So this is be y log 3 to the base 2, right? And this minus goes in the power of 3 to make it as log 1 by 3 to the base 2. So clearly my option that satisfies is option number 4. I would kind of put this question in level 1, but even if you put it in level 2, it's still okay and fine by me. Fair enough. Moving ahead to question number 6, guys, now. Yeah, again, a TSG question. Again, a very simple TSG question. Leaving home at the same time, Amal reaches office at 10:15 a.m. if he travels at 8 kilometers per hour. So the concept that is applicable here is a very simple concept of TSG, guys, that the ratio of speed is inversely proportional to the ratio of times. So if he travels at 8 kilometers per hour, he reaches 10:15. If at 15 kilometers per hour, he reaches at 9:40. right? So if the speeds ka ratio is 8:15, the times ka ratio will have to be 15:8, right? And clearly the difference between these two times, so because he left at the same time in both the situations, the difference is clearly 35 minutes. So this 35 minutes corresponds to this difference of 7. So every minute has corresponding to 5 minutes. So using the ratio ka simple concept, this 15 has to be equal to 75. This is into 5. This 8 has to be equal to 40, which is again into 5. So applying the simple basic ratio proportion ka concept, I get this exact time is 75 minutes and exact time is 40 minutes. So considering this time, he must have been leaving by 9 a.m. So clearly, if he leaves by 9 a.m., he reaches by 9:40. If he travels at 15 kilometers per hour, that is the given question, right? Now the question is asking me, leaving home at 9:10, at what speed in kilometers per hour must he travel so as to reach office exactly at 10 a.m.? So this 40-minute ka time frame corresponds to a speed of 15. So what will be the speed if the time frame is of 50 minutes? This is what is the question asking. Again, using the same methodology, S1 by S2. So this 40 by 50. If I term this speed as X, will nothing be but equal to X by 15. The reverse ratio of the speeds, right? So X will be nothing but 4 by 5 into 15. And this will be nothing but 12. So 12 kilometers per hour has to be the answer. Hence option number 4. Cool. I hope it's understandable. It's again a very simple TSG question. Again, a very level 1 question. Moving ahead to question number 7. All right. So now I see geometry for the first time, guys. Geometry and mensuration. So a circle is inscribed in the rhombus. So this is a rhombus. इसमें circle inscribed हुआ है. ऐसा कुछ होगा. इसका diagonals is 12 and 16. So this is 12, this is 16. So clearly this will be 8 and this will be 6. And as we correctly know about the properties of rhombus, diagonals are perpendicular bisectors. So this is a right angle triangle. Cool. So this is 6, 8. So this diagonal or the side of the rhombus has to be 10. The ratio of the area of circle to the area of rhombus. So for area of circle, I need the radius of the circle. So the radius of the circle will be this. And by using the properties of right angle triangle, this is nothing but the altitude dropped on the hypotenuse. And it has a very simple formula, guys. It'll be nothing but 8 into 6 upon 10. Right? So the altitude on the hypotenuse is nothing but the product of the two perpendiculars divided by the hypotenusal length. So this will be nothing but 4.8. So this has to be my R of the circle. Right? Now it is just about, so using just these two properties of geometry and mensuration, moving ahead from this, it's just about putting in the right formula. So area of circle is pi r square. It has to be pi r square means 4.8 into 4.8 divided by the area of rhombus, which is nothing but half into the product of the diagonals. That is half into 16 into 12. If we cancel these things out, 4.8, this 2 goes upar. This divides at 8. This divides at 0.6. This divides at 0.4. So this comes out to be 0.24 pi, which is 24 upon 100 pi, and which is nothing but 6 by 25 pi. So this has to be my answer, which is option number 2. Cool. Again, according to me, it's a level 1 question only, just using the basic properties of a right angle triangle. All right. So question number 8 says mean of all 4-digit even natural numbers of the form AABB. So kaise numbers honge wo AAB wale? It has to be even. So BB can only be 2, 2, 4, 4, 6, 6, and so on. All right. So this is going to be 1100. This can be 1122. This can be 1144, 1166, and 1188. So these 5 numbers with 1 as the first digit. Then we'll have 2200, 2222, 2244, 2266, and 2288, and so on and so forth. So we'll be covering every number of this form. We'll be having 3300 in the next one, 3322, then 3344, 3366, and 3388, and so on till 9900, 9922, 9944, 9966, and 9988. Okay, so there are so many numbers, and we're about to find the mean. So guys, if you understand the basic concept of average, so if you just look at the first column of these numbers, 1100 se leke 1188, all of these numbers are actually equidistant from each other, right? So this is 22 ka gap, 22 ka gap, 22, 22 again. So whenever such a thing happens, that some numbers in arithmetic progression are kept, and the number of those numbers is an odd number. So there are 5 such numbers. Without even calculating, I can easily say the middle number has to be the average. So these 1 wale numbers ka average will be 1144. And by using the exact same logic, the 2 wale numbers ka average will be 2244, then 3344, 4444, and so on till 9944. Right? So I have 9 numbers, 1144, 2244, 3344. And now these are the averages. और अब मुझे इनका average निकालना है, because I need the final average of all these numbers that are grouped here. So again, I have 9 such numbers. What will be the middle number? 5544. Right? So this question was a little tricky question, because if you, by any chance, if you think about actually adding all these numbers and then using the formula of average, you're almost done for the exam, right? So this simple concept of average, that the middle number is the average, could have been used very easily in this question, and the answer is option number 2. Yes. So moving on to question number 9 now. Okay, question number 9 talks about something called percentages, guys. Okay. In a group of people, 28% of the members are young, so 28%. So we can solve these questions by either taking values or even keeping these values as percentages as given to us. So there's nothing wrong in either of these methods. So let's try and solve it by, let's say, taking no numbers, just taking the percentages only, right? So 28% are young. So the remaining 72% have to be old. Cool. If 65% of the members are literates, so 65% are literates. That means the remaining 35% would be illiterates. And 25% of the literates are young. So iska 25% means 1/4. So it'll have to be 16.25%. So this is what? 16.25% iska part hai. So these are young, and the remaining what? 1748.75 have to be old, right? Then the percentage of old people among the illiterates. So is illiterates में old people कितने होंगे वो मुझे निकालना है. So clearly literate old is 48.75 and the total old is 72. So the remaining has to be illiterate old, and the remaining is what? 23.25. So 72 minus 48.75. This is 23.25, which is illiterate old. So the remaining of 35 will be illiterate young, which will be 11.75. Now I have every percentage value. I can easily calculate the required number, which is percentage of old people among the illiterates. So how many illiterates are there? 35. And how many old are there out of these? So this. So 23.25 over 35 into 100 is my required number. This will be around, so what is let me calculate the 2/3 of 35. So 2/3 of 35 will be somewhere around 24 or 23. Yes. So it has to be lesser than that. So 2/3 will be 66.67%. So it has to be somewhere around 66%. So clearly I have got the answer. Then this was again very simple percentage question, guys. Not too difficult. It's again a level 1 question according to me. So as you can see, there are so many level 1 questions. We are yet to encounter a very difficult question, and we've already covered 9 questions out of the 26, right? Cool. Moving on to question number 10 now. All right. So we are moving into the functions category now. If f of 5 plus x equal to f of 5 minus x for every real x and fx equal to 0 has 4 distinct real roots, then the sum of these roots is, okay. Okay, so this is a functions question, guys. I can easily mark it as what now level 3. I would have left this question as of now if I were attempting the CAT as it is. But since it's a solutions video, I have to solve. So let's say, cool. So it can be solved by multiple methods, as I can see. Considering the first one as, let's say, replacing x by x minus 5 in the given equation, I get it as f of 5 plus x minus 5 equal to f of 5 minus x minus 5. Cool. So this is f of x equal to f of 10 minus x. Say, so this equation that I've left with now shows that fx will be equal to f of 10 minus x at every value. So at stages of 10, I'll be getting the same values. So whenever f of x is 0, f of 10 minus x will also be 0. Right? So if I keep it as 0, and if I say that, let us say there is a random root of the equation, the roots are usually classified as alpha, beta. So let's say alpha is a root, right? So this means f of alpha has to be 0. This also means f of 10 minus alpha has to be 0, because f of x is equal to f of 10 minus x. And let us say there is another root called beta. So if f of beta is equal to 0, then f of 10 minus beta also has to be 0. And that is it. Because the question already says it has only 4 distinct real roots. And these are my 4 distinct real roots. One is alpha, the other is 10 minus alpha. One is beta, the other is 10 minus beta. And what is some of these roots is clearly 10 plus 10 is 20. Alpha gets cancelled out, beta gets cancelled out. The answer is 20. Cool. I would want everyone to try the graphical method as well, right? So because it has 4 distinct real roots, it will be something like this. The graph has to be something like, let's say these are the 2 roots. Then one more root has to be here. The other root has to be here. The shape could also be reversed. It could also be like this. ऐसा भी हो सकता है. ठीक है? It is just that ये जो value है, ये जो middle value है, इस middle value से the distance of these roots. So if this is alpha, this also has to be alpha. And if this is beta, this also has to be beta. This is the crux of the situation. So if most of you would be aware about the normalization curve, right? This is something on those lines. Cool. So slightly difficult question as compared to the first 9, but still doable, but not in the first go. So we can leave this question and move ahead while attempting the CAT. Question number 11, guys. Okay, distinct roots again, real roots. Okay. This is what the usual scenario is. So we consider this x plus 1 by x as a. So this becomes a square minus 3a plus 2 is equal to 0. And this equation clearly has 2 roots, which is a equal to 2 or a equal to 1, right? But we already know that something of this form, which is alpha plus 1 by alpha, this can only be greater than or equal to 2. for the roots to be real, right? So if this is greater than or equal to 2, this cannot be 1. So 1 goes out of the picture. The only root left with me is exactly 2. So there will be only one distinct real root of the equation because it can't be 1, it has to be 2. And obviously, yes, the next solution of this alpha plus 1 by alpha can also be less than or equal to -2, but that is of no significance here because the only two roots are 2 and 1. So this is not required. Cool. Moving on to question number 12 now. Okay. Again, something of the sort of surds and indices, a chapter which people usually struggle against. Cool. So if x is equal to this, which of the following equals 64? So guys, clearly I can see a connection between 64 and 4096. This is 2 to the power 12. This is 2 to the power 6. So 4096 is nothing but the square of 64. Right. So if I just replace this, if I say 4096 and if I shift the power to the LHS, is nothing but equal to x by x ki power 1 by 7 plus 4 root 3. Right. If I again say this is 64 ka square because I need the value 64. So this is 64 ka square equal to x to the power 1 by 7 plus 4 root 3. Again, if I shift the power of 2 to the RHS, this becomes 64 equal to x to the power 1 by what? 14 plus 8 root 3. Now it is just simply about rationalization of this denominator of the power. We rationalize it as 14 minus 8 root 3 upon 14 minus 8 root 3. This becomes x to the power 14 minus 8 root 3 upon 196 minus 192. Yes, that is 4. So this becomes 4. So this becomes x 7 minus 4 root 3 upon 2. So this becomes x to the power 7 by 2 divided by x to the power 2 root 3. So clearly option number 2 is my correct answer. Okay, I just used some of the rules of surds and indices, nothing else, and just the connection between 4096 and 64. So again, a very simple question. You could have kept it in level 1 itself, but level 2 is also fine by me. Okay, question number 13, guys. Two persons are walking beside a railway track at respective speeds of 2 and 4. Okay. A train came from behind them and crossed them in 90 and 100. So this is again a simple concept of TSD. The same concept, the ratio of speeds is inversely proportional to the ratio of times. So as we can see, the railway track, the train ka length is, let's say, L, and train ka speed is, let's say, S. So S minus 2 is the speed at which the train crosses the first person. That is the relative speed. This is the time of 90 seconds. The train length remains as L, but the speed becomes S minus 4 in the second case, and the time becomes 100. Right? So we have these two values, these four values in fact, and we can simply relate these as S minus 2 upon S minus 4 has to be equal to 100 upon 90, because ratio of speeds is inversely proportional to the ratio of times. Solving this becomes 9s minus 18, 10s minus 40. So S becomes 22. So clearly this is nothing but 18 and this is nothing but 20. Now what have we've been asked in the question? The time in seconds taken by the train to cross an electric post is nearest to. Electric post की कोई speed नहीं होती है, right? So the time taken, so the speed will only be S, that is 22. And what is the time taken is what is the question asking me, right? So again, simply using the ratio again, it will be 18 by 22. You can either take this 18 or you can take this 20. It's your own choice. So 18 by 22 should be equal to X by 100, where this is X. So clearly it will be X equal to 1800 My apologies for the connection trouble, guys. So where were we? We were S minus 2, we had 90. S minus 4, we had 100. So we came out as the value of S as 22. So what will be the S? So this is 18 and this is 20. What will be this time? So this was 18 by 22 equal to X by 100. So this means X has to be 1800 upon 22. Just cutting this as 8, 176, 40, 81 point something. So the correct answer should be 82. Cool. Again, a very simple TSG question, not difficult by standards of CAT. Moving on to question number 14 now, guys. Okay, another mensuration question. A solid right circular cone of height 27. So this is cone. This is 27. Two pieces में cut हो जाता है along a plane parallel to its base. So this is the plane parallel to its base at a height of 18. So this is 18. So this will have to be 9. If the difference in volume of the two pieces is 225. Okay. So in all these questions, guys, what do I do is I just mark the pieces as, let's say this is 1, this is 2, and the bigger piece is 3. Okay. So clearly, as we can see, 2 is also a cone and 3 is also a cone, right? So 2 की जो volume होगी, that will be 1 by 3 pi r square h, r1 square h1 for example, and 3 की volume क्या होगी, again be 1 by 3 pi r2 square h2. Okay. Now we can clearly see and use the property of similarity between these two triangles. So by similarity, r का ratio भी same होगा और height का ratio भी same होगा. So the ratio of heights is 9 by 27, that is 1 by 3. So the ratio of r, the ratio of radii will also be 1 by 3. So this gets cancelled out. The ratio of volumes becomes r1 square will be what? 1 by 9 into 1 by 3. And this will be 1 into 1. So the ratio of volumes will become volume of 2, ratio volume of 3 will be 1:27, right? And again, reminding you the fact that volume 2 that I write in Roman numerals here is nothing but the smaller cone, 3 is the bigger cone, and 1 is the frustum that is left downstairs, right? So if 2 और 3 की volume का ratio 1 by 27 है, तो ये remaining part जो होगा वो 26 होगा. And what is this remaining part is 2, volume of 1 of this frustum. This means volume of 1 will be 26, volume of the second piece will be 1, and volume of the third, and that is the large piece, is 27. Now, इस दोनों के volume का difference मुझे 225 given है question में. So this 25 का difference is corresponding to 225. That is a multiplying factor of 9. So everything else will be using a multiple factor of 9 only. So this will be 26 into 9, this will be 1 into 9, and this will be 27 into 9. So what is the volume of the original cone? 27 into 9, that will be nothing but 243. So again, just using the simple basic formula of firstly similarity, secondly the formula of volume of the cone. Nothing else is required. Rest all is ratio proportion. You could still keep this as level 2, not level 1, but definitely not level 3. Not difficult. Moving on to question 15. Okay, we have ABC 3 positive integers such that AB is 432, BC is this, C is less than 9. Smallest possible value of A plus B plus C. Okay. Guys, we understand from the basic funda of inequalities is that whenever we have to minimize the sum, the product is constant, then the two values of the three values should be as close to each other as possible, right? So मुझे A plus B plus C को minimize करना है, and AB is a constant and BC is also a constant. तो मुझे AB की values को आपस में बहुत close रखना पड़ेगा. एंड क्लोज रखूंगा और मेरा प्रोडक्ट 432 होना चाहिए, तो इसका स्क्वायर रूट इज अराउंड 2021 के आसपास, राइट? So just distributing the product of 432 into two different factors, so kind of factorization, and those two factors have to be as close to each other as possible. So I cannot take this 1 432, I can't take this 2 216, I can take something around 20. Something around 20 will be 18. 18 will be a factor, not 19. So 18 into 2za and 4za. So 18 cross 24 is the closest pair of A and B for the product to be 432, which I require, right? So let's say A is 18, let us say B is 24. Now B is 24, putting that value here, C has to be 4, right? Or we could have this other way around as well. We could say this B is 18 and A is 24, but if B is 18, then C cannot be a positive integer. So then that goes out for a toss. So the only possible criteria is 18 has to be A, 24 has to be B, and C has to be 4. And in this case, what is the sum of A plus B plus C? 24 plus 18 plus 4 has to be 46. और अगर इसमें 46 आपके पास आ चुका है and all the remaining options are more than 46, then that clearly has to be the answer. You don't need to check for any other combinations. Right? Cool. Moving ahead to question number 16 now. Okay, among 100 students, X1 have birthdays in January, X2 in February, and so on. If X0 is maximum of X1 to X12, the smallest possible value of X0 is. Okay. So guys, यहाँ पे हमको कुछ different सोचना पड़ेगा, ठीक है? Okay, so let us say so basically I have to distribute this 100 into 12 parts. That is X1 to X12. If I keep on taking these random values, let's say if I take 1, 2, 3, and so on, तो वो जो last वाला number होगा वो काफी बड़ा होगा. It'll be around 20 or 18 probably, or let's say 15 only. So if I give random values from 1 to 15 to these X1 से लेके X12 तक, तो my maximum value which I require out of these values will be 15. But is that the minimum possible value? Because see, I have to at the end of the day minimize X0. That is what the question is asking me. Smallest possible value of X0. So can this be 15? No. Can I reduce this 15 further? Yes. So if I distribute this 15 also equally among all these 1, 2, 3, and do you understand the concept of almost equalizing all these values? So once I equalize all these values, only then can I get the minimum possible value of this X0. If you understand the logic very carefully, right? So how can I equalize these values? I divide this 100 into 12 parts. So 12 8 is 96 and 12 9 is 108. So 9 crosses 100. 8 is the maximum possible value, right? So let's say I give 8, 8, 8 to each of these 12 values. Now I'm left with 4 people more, right? Now can I give this 4 to anyone? I can, but that will make this 8 as 12. And again, will this 12 be the minimum possible value of X0? No. So for minimizing the possible value of X0, I have to be distributing this remaining 4 also almost equally. As I distribute this 100 equally, I'll distribute this 4 also equally. So it'll be 1, 1, 1, 1. तो कोई भी 4 लोगों को आप 1, 1 और दे दो, कोई भी 4 months को. So it'll be 9, 9, 9, 9, and the remaining 8s. Right? So what is the minimum possible value of X0? Is clearly 9. Cool. I hope it's understandable. If not, please pause the video, rewind, and then watch again. Cool. Question 17 now. Again, we see a TSD question. So TSD clearly, guys, is very, very important. which we keep on highlighting anyway, right? A train traveled at 1/3 of its usual speed and hence reached the destination 30 minutes after the scheduled time. So speed हो गई आपकी 1/3, तो पहले आपकी speed 3 थी, 3x थी, अब x हो गई है. So this is initial, this is final. तो time, so speed का ratio आपका 3:1 का हो गया, तो time का ratio आपका 1:3 होना चाहिए. Reversal of the speed का ratio. So this distance 30 minutes after the scheduled time. तो scheduled time ये 1 वाला था, ये distance of 2 is actually 30. So 2 is 30 means this 1 has to be 15 and this 3 has to be 45. Right? Again using the simple ratio proportion wala methods. So the actual scheduled time is 15 minutes at the speed of 3x that is, and the final time that comes out to be is 45 minutes. It is at a speed of x. Okay, cool. On its return journey, the train initially traveled at its usual speed for 5 minutes. Now this is where the question becomes interesting, guys. तो 5 मिनट यानी कि 15 मिनट्स का जो डिस्टेंस था उसमें से 5 मिनट तक उसने यूजुअल स्पीड पे बिताया, राइट? सो लेट्स से दैट द एंटायर डिस्टेंस वाज d and the entire time was 15 minutes. तो ये d/3 का जो डिस्टेंस है इसने यूजुअल स्पीड पे स्पेंड किया and the remaining 2d/3 distance, अब उसके बारे में कहानी आगे है. But then stopped for 4 minutes. अब 4 मिनट के लिए इमरजेंसी होगी तो स्टॉप करना पड़ा. The percentage by which the train must increase its usual speed now to reach the destination in time. Okay. तो अभी आपके पास 10 मिनट बचे थे. So be very careful. 15 मिनट्स में से 5 मिनट्स यूजुअल स्पीड पे चली और 10 मिनट यूजुअल स्पीड पे चलती तो टाइम पे पहुंच जाती. बट 10 में से 4 मिनट तो चले गए इमरजेंसी के चक्कर में. So the only time left with us is 6 minutes now. So the usual 10 minutes ka time is now dropped down to 6 minutes. So the ratio of times is now 10:6. So clearly the ratio of speeds has to be 6:10, right? So if my initial usual speed was 6, now my increased speed has to be 10. So what is the percentage increase now? The percentage increase is nothing but 4/6 into 100. So this is 2/3. That is roughly around 67%. Option number 1, clear. Cool. Moving ahead now. Question 18. On a rectangular metal sheet of area 135, rectangular metal sheet, okay, a circle is painted so that the circle touches two opposite sides. So two opposite sides touching करेगा तो ऐसे ही हो सकता है. It can only touch the longer sides, not the shorter ones. Okay, this is painted. तो ये वाला area painted है. If the area of the sheet left unpainted is 2/3 of the painted area. तो अगर ये painted area 3A है तो unpainted area will be 2A. This is what the question is telling me. So the total area is 5A, which is equal to 135 given to us. So A has to be 27. So this 3A has to be 81, 2A has to be 54. This is the distribution. Okay. Then the perimeter of the rectangle in inches is. Okay. Now clearly we have to relate the circle ka radius with the rectangle ka breadth. And clearly the circle ka radius will be half of the rectangle ka breadth, right? So circle ka area kitna hoga? Pi r square. And what is this r? This r is nothing but b/2. If b is my breadth and l is my length, okay? So it will be pi into b/2 ka whole square. This has to be equal to 81 as it is given to me, right? So this pi, in fact, this b will have to be equal to 81 into 4, that is 9 to 18 by root pi. ये हो जाएगा आपका b का वैल्यू, ठीक है? Now considering this 135 as the total area of the rectangle, and the total area is nothing but L into B. So L into B, which is 18 by root pi, has to be equal to 135, right? So L has to be equal to 135 by 18 into root pi, right? So this cutting this 9 and this is, 15 and this is 2. So 15 by 2 into root pi is L. Now we have to find out what is the perimeter of the rectangle. Perimeter is nothing but 2 into L plus B. So it will be 2 into L. L is 15 by 2 root pi plus B. B is 18 by root pi. Right? Just adding these two values, I get 2 root pi in the denominator. And I get 15 pi in the numerator plus 36. And this 2 gets cancelled out. I'm left with 15 root pi plus 36 upon root pi. So checking with the options, I get this is eliminated. This is 15 root pi plus 36 upon root pi. So yes, option number 2 clearly satisfies. This could have been kept in category 2 or level 2, not really level 3 again. So level 3, we've only encountered one question as of now. There was also of functions. And that too also because of the inherent difficulty that people find with chapter on functions, not by any else logic. Cool? All right. Cool then. Moving on to question number 19 now, guys. This is the second log question, if I'm not wrong. Yes. So the question says log 5 to the base 4, log. Okay, let's start to solve. This looks a very simple, straightforward question. This is log 5 upon log 4 equal to log y upon log 4 into log root 5 upon log 6. So using the property that is log a to the base b is log a by log b, nothing else. Log 4 gets cancelled out. This becomes log of 5 to the power 1 by 2. So that power comes ahead. This becomes half here, log 5 here. So log 5 gets cancelled out. So I'm left with log y, 2 and log 6. So log y becomes 2 into log 6. This means log y becomes log 6 ka square. This means y becomes 36. So बहुत ही simple question, guys. बहुत ज़्यादा simple. Simplest. So this is the reason why I ask people not to leave any chapters, any topics altogether, because generally people tend to leave chapters like log, right? But this is just on the basis of the very simple property, only one property. Or a question cat me, in fact, 2 questions cat me from log is a very big thing, right? Cool. Moving ahead to question number 20. How many distinct possible positive integer valued solutions exist to the equation? Okay, something to the power something equal to 1. Now, this is a very standard question, guys, which we've done. And this is a question, in fact, which I remember actually exactly talking to my students about at Prep Zone, right? So, ऐसे question का एक बहुत simple standard procedure होता है. So, there are 3 cases involved here, right? Something to the power something gives me 1. If case 1, that something in the base is actually 1. So if x square minus 7x plus 11 equal to 1, तो अगर base 1 होगा तो power कुछ भी हो, doesn't matter. The result will have to be 1 only. That is 1, case number 1. So solving this scenario will give me one equation, that is x equal to 5 and 2. Right? Case 2, if I say the power becomes 0, then also the base doesn't matter, because anything raised to the power 0 is equal to 1. So if my x square minus 13x plus 42 becomes 0, this will also give me 2 values of x. It will be x equal to 6 and 7. Right? This will again leave the equation satisfied. Now, there's also one more case which we've left in cases 1 and 2, and that is my case 3, that is अगर भाई base -1 हो और मेरी power even हो तब भी तो मेरा आंसर 1 आता है, right? So those two conditions have to be satisfied simultaneously here. So x square minus 7x plus 11 has to be equal to -1, and x square minus 13x plus 42 has to be even. तो पहले इसको solve करते हैं. So this will be 12. This means 3 and 4. So yeah. So this x equal to 3 and 4. This equation gives me two possible values. Now I have to check, putting on 3 and 4, does this become even or not? So putting on 3, I get 9 minus 39 plus 42. So I get the answer as 12, even, correct. Putting on 4, I get 16 minus 52 plus 42. I get the answer as 6, which is again even. So yes, so 3 and 4 both satisfy. So hence, all of these 6 values are different firstly, and hence all of these 6 values satisfy the equation, and hence my answer is 6. So yeah, so again, a little bit of practice and a little bit of open mind, because see, this is a very trappy question. People could have marked 4 if they were not to consider case number 3. People could have marked 2 if they were to only consider cases 1 or 2 and not both of them, right? So all of the options are possible. It is only when you have an open mind and you've done these kind of questions in the past, which is through practice, that you must have studied all these three cases and hence all the 6 values. Cool? So yeah, moving ahead. Question 21, guys. How many 3-digit numbers are there for which the product of their digits is more than 2 but less than 7? So 3 digit के numbers चाहिए और उनका product होना चाहिए digits का more than 2 but less than 7. So there are 4 possible cases. The product can be 3, 4, 5 or 6. So the product can be 3 in only one way. 1, 1, 3. So these are my 3 digits arranged in any particular order. So the number possible arrangement will be 3 factorial upon 2 factorial. It will be 3. 4 का product कैसे हो सकता है? 1, 1, 4 हो सकता है और 1, 2, 2 हो सकता है. 1, 1, 4 and 1, 2, 2 will both give me 3 plus 3. That is 6 possible cases. The 5 का भी एक ही case possible है. That is 1, 1, 5. Right? So this will only give me 3 cases. 6 is possible in 1, 1, 6. It is possible in 1, 2, 3 as well. So 1, 1, 6 will give me 3 cases. 1, 2, 3 will give me 6 cases. So in total, I'll have 9 cases. So 3 plus 6 plus 3 plus 9 will give me 21 such cases. So this is my answer to the question. Fair enough. Question 22. The number of real valued solutions of the equation, this is equal to this. Okay. Now guys, this is also coming for the second time in this paper. An equation and an expression of the form a plus 1 by a. So as I told you, 2 to the power x plus 1 by 2 to the power x has to be greater than or equal to 2. Right? So the LHS वाले part का हमने condition निकाल लिया. Now we'll talk about the RHS. So RHS में what can I say? I can say the second quantity in the bracket is a square. So इसका least possible value has to be 0. So अगर इसका least possible value is 0, then I can say the maximum possible value of the RHS will be 2, because 2 minus 0 will be 2. So the RHS will be always less than or equal to 2, because the maximum possible value of RHS is 2, right? तो ये आपका 2 से बड़ा होगा, ये 2 से छोटा होगा. So the only place where both of these quantities, that is the LHS and the RHS, will be equal is only when both of them are equal to 2, right? That is the only critical value. And when is the LHS equal to 2? Only when x equal to 0. Only then will it become 1 plus 1. राइट. सो अगर x इक्वल टू 0 होगा तो मेरा LHS तो 2 हो जाएगा, बट मेरा RHS क्या 2 होगा? नहीं होगा. So by boiling down the question to the final condition, I say only the condition when LHS will be equal to RHS will be when both of them will be equal to 2. But as I said, both of them can never simultaneously be equal to 2. Hence my answer is there is no solution. Hence the answer is option 4. Right. Question number 23 now, guys. The area of the region satisfying the inequalities. Okay, inequalities also features in now. But these are relatively simple inequalities, right, guys? Not really too difficult. So let's say if I form the graph, this y greater than or equal to 0 means anything above the x-axis. Y less than or equal to 1 means this line. इससे नीचे नीचे चाहिए मुझे. So ये वाला region चाहिए बस. Okay. What about the first inequation? First inequation has a mod. So let's say we divide this into two parts. One where x is positive, one where x is negative. So this boils down to either x minus y equal to 1 or minus x minus y equal to 1. तो ये हो जाएगा आपका x plus y equal to minus 1. So I'll just draw these two lines, nothing else. This x minus y equal to 1 will be this line. This point will be 2 comma 1. This point will be 1 comma 0. And this point will be 0 comma minus 1. Just joining these two points. ठीक है. x plus y equal to minus 1 में क्या होगा? minus 1 comma 0 एक point हो सकता है. ये भी एक point हो सकता है. तो ये line ऐसी जाएगी. ठीक है. So this is clearly the graph. And because there was an less than equal to sign, so ये ऐसा चाहिए मुझे. Right? तो मेरा region ये होगा. The region which is common across all these three inequations, excepting this triangle. ये triangle वाला part यहाँ पे नहीं होगा because I need ऊपर x-axis के ऊपर मुझे चाहिए. So the only common part between all these four regions is this trapezium kind of a figure. Not kind, exactly trapezium. तो ये जो trapezium है guys, the one which I'm highlighting above the x-axis is something that I need here. Right? So trapezium का area का formula हम लोग simply लगा सकते हैं. This is half into sum of parallel sides. So parallel sides कितनी है? ये this is 1, this is 1. So this is entirely 2. ये पूरा 4 होगा. So half into 2 plus 4 into distance between them, there is this distance which is equal to 1. So 6 by 2 will become 3. So 3 has to be the answer to the question. या तो आप ट्रायंगल में से ट्रायंगल हटा सकते हो, बड़े ट्रायंगल में से छोटा ट्रायंगल हटा सकते हो, या फिर आप ट्रेपेजियम निकाल सकते हो डायरेक्टली. Again, not very difficult question. Could have been solved very easily if you're comfortable with graphs. Okay, moving on to question 24 now. A gentleman decided to treat a few children in the following manner. He gives half of his total stock of toffees and one extra to the first child, and then the remaining half with one extra to the second, and continue. Okay, his total stock exhausts after he takes care of 5 children. Okay. तो ऐसे क्वेश्चंस गाइस पहली बात तो बहुत बार आ चुके हैं कैट में. सो दिस इज अ वेरी वेरी ओल्ड कैटेगरी ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. सो मोस्ट पीपल हु हैव प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर कैट diligently must have come across n number of such questions, all following this very same pattern. Okay, so what do we do while solving these questions is we start from the last. That is the crucial part of this question. ठीक है. तो हर बार सेम प्रोसेस रिपीट हो रहा है, और वो प्रोसेस क्या है? सो अभी वो एग्जॉस्ट कब हो रहा है? जब 5 बच्चों का टेक केयर कर रहा है. ठीक है. तो मैं 5वें बच्चे के बारे में अगर मैं इक्वेशन बनाऊं, सो बिफोर गिविंग टू दैट 5th किड, इफ ही हैड x टॉफीज इनिशियली, ठीक है, तो उसमें से उसने आधी दे दी, because that is what he's doing. He gives half of his stock plus 1. So he gives half, so he's left with itna minus itna. this should be left with 0 now, right? Because he was initially left with X. Again, reminding you of the fact that I am considering this X as the number of toffees that he has before giving to the fifth child, right? तो पहले ये थी, इसकी हाफ दे दी और एक और दे दी, तो इतनी बचनी चाहिए, और ये बची कितनी है? 0. So just solving this equation, I come out as X का value as equal to 2, right? Now I just need a correlation between 0 and 2. Now मैं 0 से 2 तक कैसे पहुंचाऊं? I added 1, so I'm now backtracking, guys. ठीक है, listen to me very carefully. I'm backtracking now. तो ये जो पहले 1 दे रहा है वो टॉफी, उसको पहले यहाँ पे ऐड करो, और फिर ये जो नीचे वाला 2 है इसको डबल कर दो. तो स्टेप बाय स्टेप, ठीक है? तो वो क्या कर रहा है? 0 में 1 ऐड कर रहा है और 1 उसको डबल कर रहा है. तो लास्ट से पहले, मतलब लास्ट के बाद, 5वें बच्चे के बाद 0 बची, तो चौथे बच्चे के बाद कितनी बची होंगी? 2, which is just found out to be X, right? So this is +1, then into 2. Then I'll follow the same process again. तीसरे बच्चे के पास के बाद कितनी बची होंगी? +1 into 2, 6. दूसरे बच्चे के बाद कितनी बची होंगी? +1 into 2, that is 14. पहले बच्चे के बाद कितनी बची होंगी? +1 into 2, that is 30. और सबसे पहले कितनी होंगी? +1 into 2, that is 62. ठीक है? तो ये प्रोसेस को एक बार ध्यान से देखना. एक ही बार इक्वेशन बनाई, that is from the last end, and then I followed a pattern that linked the numbers 0 and 2. That is the last 2 numbers, right? वो पैटर्न फिर मैंने सेम पैटर्न फॉलो किया हर बार. ठीक है? I hope it's clear. Moving on, 25th question. Looks very simple. Simple interest, compound interest question. Interest question है. ठीक है? 10,000 वीरू ने इन्वेस्ट करे 5% सिंपल एनुअल इंटरेस्ट पे exactly for 2 years. Joy invested इतना. Okay, how many years after Viru's investment will their balances, that is principal plus interest, be equal? So the amounts have to be equal. तो वीरू की इन्वेस्टमेंट लेट्स से t years की है, so it has to be 10,000, that is the principal, plus interest कितना हुआ? 10,000 into 5, that is rate of interest, into t years upon 100. ये हो जाएगा आपका अमाउंट ऑफ वीरू. ठीक है? दिस हैज टू बी इक्वल टू अमाउंट ऑफ जॉय. अब जॉय ने 8,000 इन्वेस्ट करे, तो 8,000 पे इंटरेस्ट कितना हुआ? 10% पे. बट उसके years कितने हैं? Just have a very good look here, because Joy invested 2 years later. If the time duration of the investment of Viru is t, then the same time duration of the investment of Joy will be t minus 2. It will be t minus 2 upon 100. These two have to be equal. Just solve these two equations. Let us say this is 2,000, this is 10,000 plus 500t equal to 8,000 plus 800t minus 1,600. ठीक है? तो 2,000 has to be equal to plus 1,600 equal to 300t. So t has to be equal to 12. That is the final answer. So what is the question asking me? How many years after Viru's investment? ठीक है? तो वीरू की इन्वेस्टमेंट के ही t years थे, right? So these questions are little tricky because people can get confused between t and t minus 2. So please make sure that you check and cross check once again what was the variable that you took. ठीक है? The answer has to be 12 years. Cool. The last question, guys, of CAT 2020 quant section, slot 1. Okay. A, B, and C be 3 positive integers such that the sum of A and mean of B and C is 5. A plus B plus C by 2, this means is 5. सही है? In addition, sum of B and A plus C ka mean is 7. So this is 7. These two equations are given to me. Let's say I subtract and add the two equations. और क्या हो सकता है? Let's first subtract. तो पहले subtract करा तो मेरा आया B by 2 minus A by 2 is equal to 2. मतलब 4 हो जाएगा. तो B minus A has to be equal to 4. This is upon subtracting the two equations. If I add the two equations, then I get 3A plus 3B by 2 plus C plus 2C equal to 24. Okay. This is the equation that I get upon adding the two equations. That's also fine. Now what can I do from here? Sum of A and B पूछ रहा है. तो difference अगर 4 है तो sum 4 तो नहीं हो सकता. तो ये possible नहीं है. So option 3 is not possible. Option 1, 2 and 4 are still open. What else can I do? I can check. Okay, so this is 3A plus 3B. So 3A plus 3B combined has to be a multiple of 3. Absolutely. So this is where I get the idea. So ये एक multiple of 3 है और 24 भी एक multiple of 3 है. This means 2C also has to be a multiple of 3. Because only when I add a multiple of 3 to a multiple of 3 do I get a multiple of 3. ठीक है? तो 2C अगर multiple of 3 होगा, it can't be 3 because C has to be a positive integer, right? So it can be 6. So 2C अगर 6 होगा तो C मेरा 3 होगा. This means 3A plus 3B has to be 18. मतलब A plus B has to be 6. So already मेरे पास sum का value आ चुका है वैसे तो 6. But then I have all the other possibilities also. So cross check करना है तो cross check कर सकते हैं. Otherwise CAT में time नहीं है तो आप ये 6 mark कर सकते हो because if one option is satisfying, the other 3 cannot satisfy by logic, right? But अभी check करने के लिए हम लोग कर सकते हैं. अगर 2C की value 9 possible नहीं है, 12 possible है. तो अगर ये 12 हुआ तो C आपका 6 हो जाएगा. तो A plus B आपका 4 हो जाएगा. तो again A plus B 4 नहीं हो सकता क्योंकि हमने अभी check करा है. ठीक है? And further तो possible होगा नहीं because then A plus B will get reduced even further, right? So this boils down to the answer as option 4, that is 6. Okay guys, so this was all the best effort from my side to solve the entire CAT 2020 ka paper within the given time slot. I don't really know how much time did I take, but yes, this is it. Please make sure that you be diligent enough to start preparing as soon as possible. Prep Zone also has a batch starting in mid-January. Please make sure you attend the orientation session and attend the other sessions that are planned and then take an informed decision. Okay? But please make it as early as possible because as early as you started preparation, the better it gets. This is an enrollment started for CAT 2021 ka first batch. There is Maestro. Okay? Please contact on the given number or visit the website. This is all of the things that we provide. The best part about Prep Zone lectures is firstly, it's going to be taken by me, the quant and LRDI part. The verbal part will be taken by Jay sir. All the sessions will be in night, preferably at around 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. Depending on the availability of children. Okay? Every session will be a live session, students. Okay? सबसे ज़रूरी बात ये है, every session will be a live session. We'll be sharing chapter-wise, topic-wise assignments with you. CAT के बाद OMETS की practice भी होने वाली है यहाँ पे तो बहुत कुछ. So Shubham sir keeps on sharing so many questions on the Facebook group, on the WhatsApp groups on a daily basis that people are not able to solve each and every question. इतना time होता ही नहीं हम लोग के पास, right? So effort की कमी नहीं है यहाँ पे. Please make sure you take an informed decision. And yeah, that's it from my side. This was Rajat from Team Prep Zone. Take care. All the best. Bye-bye. Thank you.